Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Sitting beside me is the lone BJP corporator, councillor, whatever you want to call, in the Chennai Corporation, Srimati Uma Anandhan. Umaji, namaskar and welcome to P Guru.
Namaskar.
You know, we've probably met once or twice only though thus far. We have met in many TV debates, but in person this is the first time. Welcome to America. I hope you've had a good time here.
Yes, very nice. As you said, I was also thinking, because we have participated in something, I didn't feel that this is the first time we are meeting in person.
Yes. Wonderful.
Pleasant.
So, you are the lone opposition, if you will, in the Chennai municipality. 2 years now, first time as a councillor, corporator. I don't know the right word, so I'm going to use both just to be safe. How does it feel? 2 years so far. How do you feel?
1 year.
Oh, 1 year only.
About
I'm sorry.
15 months.
15 months.
Yes.
I keep thinking about MLA elections. Sorry, 1 year. 15 months. How has your journey been thus far?
See, it's been a pleasant journey, very rewarding, I would say, satisfying oneself, because எனக்கு ஒரு புரியாத இது English
Yeah.
See, one thing which is perplexing is when we are all out in an attack against the present DMK regime, but in the corporation I get the utmost cooperation from them, from the bureaucrats, the officers, as well as the ruling DMK councillors, the mayor, the deputy mayor, and all of them. I find them very, very reasonable and very pleasant, very cooperative, and never, being unreasonable with when I raise an issue or something. Of course, there are one or two fringe elements, their alliance partners and all. And the most surprising factor is the DMK coming to my rescue.
When?
In such issues.
I see.
When I'm being targeted for my caste, when I'm being targeted for my ideology, when I'm being targeted for my affiliation to the party, all that. Still, I'll find the top people who are experienced, who have been in their party for so many years and who have been councillors second time, third time, fourth time. All of them coming to my rescue and saying, please allow this lady to talk. She talks sense. So you have to allow her to talk. And also they will tell these their own councillors, please sit down. Their alliance councillors who are who raise a hue and cry and all. They'll tell them, you please sit down. Please allow this lady to talk. That sort of a
Wonderful. So last time I remember we had a one-on-one was you were still standing for elections. You were campaigning. I think you were in one of your friend's house and we did it from there. So one of the things that you mentioned was that your constituency is built on lakes. So every time there is a rain, there's these things, the lakes start sprouting water underground water, and it starts flooding. Basement, ground floor, all these things get flooded. Have you been able to make a dent in solving this problem? And I think one of the suggestions I did was to say that, can we build another floor and move the ground floor people to that floor and say, okay, at least you leave these things just in case there is waterlogging. How has that been so far?
See, when I told you at the first, it's been a very rewarding and a satisfying experience in this 1 year. I actually meant this issue which I was talking about. Basically, my election promise, the priority list was solving this water crisis. And as you asked me, we went on a very fast pace with that. And for this only I tell, the present DMK regime, they did not differentiate between my ward and the rest of the other wards. They gave me utmost cooperation when we put the stormwater drains that had to be filled, and one of the worst affected areas in Chennai. But the stormwater drain works in the first phase is over. Postal colony and those areas, the stormwater drain work is completed. We're going to, I think when I go back to India in a few days, the second phase, the Aryagouda road, the main Ayodhya Mandapam road, the work has already begun. And that will get over when I go back by August first week. That work would have been completed. So even now when I am here, through WhatsApp, I get a lot of messages from my people to say, what people? Madam, it's so nice, because when the work was going on, there was a lot of pinpricks and grumblings and all that. So I went, my officers and myself went around the ward to tell those people, see, you have to cooperate with us. There are hiccups, there will be difficulties, but you have to put up with these difficulties, a temporary phase. It is not a permanent phase. For you to be satisfied in the long run, a permanent solution for this rainwater entering your premises, your ground floor and all that, we are trying to solve that issue through this thing. I said, you have to be patient, you have to cooperate with us there. And they did. There were a few rumblings here and there. You can't expect a perfect reaction. So that way, now, when they end, see the last month rain, September, Mambalam ward, this particular ward, which is one of the top affected wards, we did not suffer much. The effects of that, it was hardly 20 to 30% of the previous
I see. So a
disaster.
dent has been made.
Dent definitely has been made. And another thing, as you told, the ground floor, whether there could be, see, even now, that's why I keep telling the election commission, they will have to do a door-to-door enumeration to say that the population, as per the records, it's about 36,000, 38. I don't think. It will be hardly 20 to 25,000 maximum, the population of this ward. I think when you rectify all this, you will know the real picture. The ground floors are in about 60 to 70% of the flats, they're empty, even now. People have shifted to other areas there. So as you said, whether, with some of the buildings need demolition because their lifetime is over. They're over 30 years old, over 40 years old. And the drainage, the water connection, everything is over 40 years old. Everything has to be redone. See, the metro water work has started redoing. The expenditure is too enormous for the budgetary limitations of the corporation. So they're going about it in a phased manner. One side of the work had started already. So when we replace, see, the pipe is about, earlier one was 6 inches, now we're doing 12 inches.
Oh, wow.
Bigger, double this thing. So all these will definitely give a relief to the ward people.
Wonderful.
So that if we see, I keep telling some of the building owners, when we meet them, the flat owners there, we tell them, come to a conclusion, give us a letter of understanding. Otherwise, see, we have every right to demolish a building which is, if it is not habitable, deemed unfit. We have every right to give the demolition orders. But instead of rubbing the people and starting on a wrong foot, we keep telling the officers and myself, when we go around, we tell those flat association, please all of you sit together, this is for your own good. Come to an understanding, we'll give you the demolition order. In the next 2 years, you can rebuild the entire structure. As you said, the ground floor could be a car park.
Correct. Wonderful. Actually, you segued me to the next question. Ayodhya Mandapam. How are things there these days?
Good. Very good. Thanks to people like T.R. Ramesh and the legal team, Mr. Parasharan and the Gunning Board. They did a hasty retreat. There is not an issue. See, but I would still like to say that there should be some changes there. You can't keep on sitting on a prickly chair to say, when are they going to come? When are they going to come back? When are they going to come back? We should not have this fear, and the government should definitely take a very, very decisive stand on Hindu places of worship, plus also, the satsangs and auditoriums which are used as satsang halls and halls for discourses and all that. See, we Hindus have the habit, even if it's a satsang hall, we have a place of worship there.
Right.
We start everything with our prayers.
Correct.
So they're all interconnected, and it is high time the government takes a very, very firm stand on this.
Wonderful. Now, no conversation about Tamil Nadu would be complete without us talking about the recent happenings, not at the municipal level, but at the state level. The recent arrest of Senthil Balaji. Umaji, this is a worldwide audience, and many people may not realize the gravity of the situation Mr. Senthil Balaji is in, meaning that he has admitted his guilt. And somebody will give some explanations, but he gave the money back. Kind of walk us back from when this started And why this is very dangerous, because this we also know about Lalu Prasad Yadav being caught for land for jobs and railways when he was a railways minister. So this is becoming an endemic problem around the country, where people are giving up their hard-earned assets, their ancestral properties, just to get a government job in the hope that that will give them more than what they are making now. So walk us through what happened in this Senthil Balaji. We can go as far back as you want, because this fellow is only 47. So I'm thinking that only 10 years in politics. Somehow he has managed to climb this political ladder very fast. So walk us through, what is it so special about this individual?
See, one thing, I think when we go back, so many of them are unaware about the Sarkaria Commission.
Yes.
And none of them are as clever, crafty as Kalaignar Karunanidhi.
Yes.
Where even the Sarkaria had to come out and say that this is a scientific scandal.
Right.
Corruption.
Right.
The rats ate away the guns, ate away the gunny bags, all this. And these people are not that clever. Definitely, as you said. See, if you turn the pages of history, the people who gave the complaint is the DMK party. When the Anna DMK was in power.
Right.
They went to the then governor. They were in the opposition, the DMK.
Right.
They went to the then governor and gave a complaint against Mr. Senthil Balaji. That complaint is what is taking action now.
Right.
But now they are jumping up and down,
Yes.
saying that it is vendetta politics, when they were the original complainants on this. See, when he was a transport minister, he took cash from about, for example, I'm telling about 20 to 25 people, saying that he'll get them a job in the transport department, and took a bribe of about 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs and all that. As you see, the clamoring to get a government job is there still there in the bourgeois mindset of the people. Yes. So when some of them out of, if supposing 20 or 25 had given money, about 10 to 15 got jobs. They were successful in having got the reward for paying the bribe. Let me say it is bribe money. You cannot say any other term for this. Let's not beat around the bush on this. It was bribe money, and the other 10 or 15 who did not get the job, and they were not very rich people, as you said. See, they had pledged their wives' jewels, or they had pledged their ancestral lands, raised the amount and given it. And there was one gentleman who was with him, who acted as a mediator and who is no more today. There. He must be having the last laugh today in his grave, I think. And the present DMK government got hold of all these facts and the witnesses and went and gave the complaint to the then governor to say that action should be initiated. And action was initiated. But by the time the legal process and the bureaucratic process which takes place, by the time the end of Ms. Jayalalitha and the Edappadi government also came to an end, and by that time Mr. Senthil Balaji had switched sides and he had gone over to the DMK.
Correct.
In the last election, if you notice the speeches of the DMK leaders like Ms. Kanimozhi or Mr. Stalin, where they went around the entire Karur belt telling that this man should be jailed. Yes. This man is totally corrupt. Everything. They said action should be taken against them. Why is the central government keeping quiet? All these were part of their speeches. But now, this man having jumped the other side of the fence, now they are crying vendetta, and it was they who had initiated the action. And the best part is, as you told, Mr. Senthil Balaji used his clout, and the DMK being in power and he being a very powerful minister, who was actually, had become so powerful that the original DMK MLAs and ministers who have been with the party for the last 40 years, 50 years, the Dravida Eid.
Right.
Those people, I know for a fact, so many of them have come and told me their grievances against why this gentleman who had come recently, he and Mr. Shekhar Babu and all, who had recently jumped fence, why are they being given so much of importance? Why we people who have been strong in our ideology, in our basis for generations who have been with the party, are being sidelined, which is a natural grievance, I would call.
Right.
And this man, it looks from what all came, see, one thing is, he has been taking care of elections from what we gather. The assembly elections, the entire Karur district, he took care. And the MP elections again. And to tell you frankly, as recent as the Erode elections by polls. And it came out that he was in charge of some 10 booths. And money was flowing like water there always. And as you see, the money power of this gentleman, which is keeping the big first family of the DMK very happy.
Right.
That is the reason why you find the reactions from the Chief Minister himself and his family, the same reaction was not there. One of the blood relative, Ms. Kanimozhi, was arrested in 2G.
Right.
All was quiet in the front then.
Right.
But now you find such a lot of active activity, and you see the entire cabinet sitting outside Mr. Senthil Balaji's room in the hospital. And another thing, they were crying hoarse about the aims not being taken off in Tamil Nadu, while the Omandurar estate, which again, the building, what Ms. Jayalalitha built as a new assembly, but always you find the two at loggerheads. As soon as she came to power, these people came to power, they turned it into a hospital. There, if you do something, I will revert it back. Like that, the Queen Mary's College, the Gindi building, all these are examples because they concentrate on the nitty-gritties and to score issues between them than keeping the people's welfare in the mind.
I have to tell you one story. This is hilarious. Umaji, I drive around Coimbatore. In Coimbatore, there are few highways, and in those highways, you have these street lamps. Now, the street lamps, they are shaped in such a way that there is one pole, and at the end, you have two limbs where the lights are hung, like LED lights, right? Now, on those limbs, they have two leaves. They want to show that this was built by ADMK, so they built two leaves in every one of those things. Now DMK is in power in Coimbatore, they are taking out those two leaves.
And you find instead they're holding G square everywhere. Even in Coimbatore, I think you must have seen.
Right.
See, always, the Tamil Nadu people have been taken for a jolly big ride the last 50 years. And it is obvious. See, they used to call UP, Bihar and all Bimaru states at the time.
Yes.
But you see the growth that has happened after the change of events. See, once, as you said, Lalu was pushed out.
Right.
See, you see the growth. Mr. Nitish Kumar, so long as he was part of the Janata Party and all that, I think some sense of ethics and the values and all that is there. Now you see all of them gathering in Patna with the sole aim of dismantling this government. There is no other thing. See, as logic would have it, DMK in alliance with Nitish Kumar, is it going to give him any benefit in Bihar elections? Or Mamata Banerjee in alliance with Stalin, is that going to give any benefit to Mr. Stalin? So I would, it's a very harsh term. I think we've all read about the school for scoundrels and all that in those days. And now perhaps we see it in action.
Absolutely. So in this Senthil Balaji case, he's inventing new ways to not get arrested. That's how I see it. And one explanation as to why so many people came to see him being trotted out is that, and you can tell me if you know or don't know the answer to this. One explanation is that whatever mamul he was collecting, Senthil Balaji was collecting, he was giving a lion's share of that to the first family as opposed to the other ministers who don't seem to be giving so much. And that is the reason why Stalin was dependent on him, and that's why he gave him that big two meaty portfolios. How true is this?
See, it looks as if it is totally true from the way it goes. As I told you, people who have been with the DMK for generations have been given less important portfolios, while the one which is very, very fertile, those portfolios have been given to this gentleman. And another thing which is very, I think is early now, if Mr. Karunanidhi was alive, this would not have happened. But now people speak about Mr. Senthil Balaji. As I told you, he took care of the entire Karur by elections, district elections. That would not have happened if Mr. Karunanidhi was in the helm, because that means he is pulling the cadres to his side, the Senthil Balaji. And as I told you, his loyalty to the first family and whether he is going to spill the beans out. And the big tamasha, I would like to say, see, it is the legal this thing that has been going on between the Chennai High Court and the enforcement and all this, it makes you, a lot of doubts which are raised whether the same facilities, same sort of an action would it follow if it was somebody other than Mr. Senthil Balaji who was sitting in the accused. So you find a man who came down from his walk falling down, and he getting admitted to the Omandurar, who was totally all right. So it was a big joke to say that one of the public who had said, why can't the ED enter all the ministers? I suppose they can have a free health checkup then. So everybody should be having a block there.
Correct.
So their health is also a matter of concern.
Right.
There. So same way, and this gentleman from Omandurar, where they speak about the health minister has to answer this. A minister who gets admitted to the government estate, the state of the art, that is supposed to be a super speciality. It is not a normal general hospital. This is a super speciality hospital, this particular building. And he going to Kaveri Hospital, and if anybody would believe it, the Kaveri Hospital belongs to which side? Everybody knows.
Right.
So he going there. That means, is he going to be under the control of the first family? They don't want him to spill the beans out. They are in a very, very dangerous situation. All these queries rise, and the ruling party the chief minister has to answer these queries. Instead of coming out and telling, very rarely he comes and talks to the press, and he comes out and talks to the press and gives a threatening this thing to the centre to say,
yes.
Be careful, if we start retaliating. And all these, which is never an accepted norm. And you find a chit of a person like Mr. Udayanidhi, the first time MLA, a first time minister, and his surname has given him all these importance. And that month, I think we have seen the MISA rule. And in the alliance with the same party which brought in the emergency.
Yes. By the way, viewers, you should watch one video I did about the DMK family and how Stalin was arrested not for MISA but for something else. And I explained that in great detail in that video. Do watch it. I don't want to waste our time again here. Precious time now. Again, last question. The new I shouldn't say new, now he's 1 year old. The new BJP president, K. Annamalai. Few people that I've seen who walks the talk. He says something, he goes by that. What are your impressions of him?
See, one thing I've been repeatedly telling. I have a lot of admiration for this leader, youngster, with a lot of promise. And I think he's the right answer for the Dravidian parties. He's giving them as he nobody had, if at all earlier it was Mr. H. Raja, and when he commented like that, the then leadership would come on to say it is his personal opinion.
Correct.
But now,
they weren't fully backing him.
Yes. But now it is not the case here. Here you have a young spirited leader who wants to take the DMK by its horns, and he is doing it very well. And that's why you find the DMK always, they keep telling BJP is nobody here. Its lotus is not going to bloom. Then why give importance? If you feel that BJP is a Nota party or whatever it is, why are you people giving so much importance to its leader? That by itself shows that you're scared of the growing popularity of the Modi government in the centre, as well as for all the Modi projects, they may put a sticker, as you told.
Correct.
They may put a DMK sticker on it and post as if it's a DMK thing. But this gentleman comes out reeling out with facts, figures. You must see when he released the DMK files part 1. We could not enter Kamalalayam, that building. I was a little late.
I see.
Usually, when we announce a meeting time, it's normally late by about half an hour or so.
Right.
Half an hour or so minimum.
Okay.
So I was thinking it's going to be the usual way, and I was late by about 15 minutes. I could not enter the premises. I had to sit somewhere at the back and listen. So the entire press was there to see, and as you told, all those details that whatever he gave was already there. The DMK has been accused of amassing wealth beyond a disproportionate assets case.
Just 1 year or 1.5 years.
Definitely, they have a lot of material in their hands, and the DMK owes the people of Tamil Nadu an answer for that. But this gentleman, definitely, I think there is a big void after the death of Ms. Jayalalitha as well as Kalaignar Karunanidhi. And this gentleman fills the void. As you all know, we all know, the Dravidian movement, which was started only to suppress the Brahmin voice for no reason, no legitimate reason.
They needed an enemy, and they got them very handy.
And where they could gather the extra forces behind
Yes,
them,
yes.
and which they successfully did for the first two generations.
Right.
Now they are at the back foot. They are forced to retreat and all that. And it is thankfully Mr. Annamalai is not a Brahmin, where they can poke their fingers and say it's a Brahmin party. They can't do that anymore. So now they have such a cheap this thing of taking hold of his Artica, shepherd.
Right.
That is by no means demeaning. So long as he is earned as an IPS officer who has come up by his merit, who has been clean in his work. So I think definitely he is the answer for the prayers that we all say that the Dravidian party should be wiped out of Tamil Nadu.
By the way, viewers, I don't know if many of you know this or not, but Annamalai was the go-to police officer for Siddaramaiah. Not in this term, but in this previous term. Anytime he had a problem, he wanted it resolved correctly, he would, I believe, request Annamalai to go take care of it. So it just speaks about, somebody who is respected across the parties, somebody who has decided that he will devote the rest of his life to the betterment of Bharat. That's something very unusual. I'm hoping that many youngsters in Tamil Nadu will take, hope from this and, try to emulate him.
See, this particular point, as you told, I've been repeatedly telling this also. Annamalai ji attracts people across caste equations, across age equations, across the rural and the urban population. And even, you have now a leader who's across Tamil Nadu. The entire India seems to be looking at Tamil Nadu, at this leader, who they all feel is going to make the BJP grow. See,
Right.
I am not demeaning the work of the earlier leaders and all. But now the social media being what it is, this gentleman is making use of that.
Right.
And you have people gobbling him that way.
Correct.
So it's a very, very welcome sign.
Wonderful. And Narayanan Tirupatiji, in one of his interviews with me, he mentioned about how the groundwork is being done by BJP. Like, for example, they have one Karyakarta for 25 families. I'm talking about real rural level. And these Karyakarta goes to these 25 families. This person adopts them as his own extended family or her own extended family. Goes and talks about all the different schemes that they can apply for, eligible for. And he had said at that time, I think he said that 60% of the state was covered. You have any idea how that part is going?
See, exactly, I can't tell you, pinpoint and tell you the exact, there could be a difference. But one thing is, as Mr. Tirupati told, there's such a lot of divisions in the party which takes care. See, for central government schemes itself, you have each, the district-wise a group for that, and Karyakartas for that booth-wise. So definitely the reach is going out, and now every day there is something or the other, and you have the central leaders coming down to Tamil Nadu. Every week you have at least one or two of them coming and discussing about the growth that we have made. We tend to give, earlier there was no serious work about the inputs that we give. How true were the inputs that we give. See, you give me a paper and you say, fill out the members and give. I can jolly well give you any number of names which were not even existing there.
Correct.
There could be a party of any other ideology also. But still, I fill it up and give for the sake of filling up the 25 names and giving it.
Right.
But now it doesn't happen because cross-checking is done from Delhi. There. So I think definitely you have made inroads. I think Mr. Amit Shah's work in UP, when he was banned from Gujarat.
Right.
He had done all this paid work in Uttar Pradesh, and which played a big role in us NDA coming to power the first time.
Yes.
So the same model is being repeated here with the changes that suit the Tamil Nadu voting pattern.
Wonderful. Umaji, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to us. Viewers, you should look at it in a very objective way, because Umaji was all praised for DMK, which is running the mayor of the city of Chennai, that how helpful they have been. So we are not being, she's a BJP member, I am not, but we are looking at it objectively as to what needs to happen for the betterment of people. That's what we are looking at. Thank you so much, Umaji, and it was wonderful talking to you. And viewers, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.
Thank you, Sriji, for giving me an opportunity and for God giving me the opportunity to meet you in person.
My pleasure.